गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. Just remembered something, give me just 30 seconds. I have to take my medicine. Okay. Yeah, we are in Katha Upanishad and we are in the second adhyaya and in the which verse? 11th verse. And the 11th verse said सूर्यो यथा सर्वलोकस्य चक्षुः न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैर्बाह्यदोषैः एकस्तथा सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा न लिप्यते लोकदुःखेन बाह्यः. Just as it is widely considered or seen that the entire our universe, we are not looking at the whole all the galaxies. Our universe is our earth and the environment around which what is it governed by? It is governed by sun and the moon, and in that moon also is getting the light from the sun. So here it is told, and this sun according to our scriptures is the presiding deity of our eyes. And who is this sun? This sun is he because of whose light our eyes are able to see the various forms. So just as the sun is not affected by the goings on in the environment that it is illuminating, exactly the same way, if you take, I will add some more examples in between before we come to the Atma. Same way, the eye is not affected by whatever it is illuminating, whether there is success or sorrow, whether there is health or disease, whether there is wealth or poverty. Sun is not affected, nor is your eye affected. Eye continues to be eye. Whether it is a beautiful form or an ugly form, whether it is a fat form or a thin form, whether it is ugly, demonic, or it is divine, eye is not affected. Go one back further, the mind also is not affected. The various thoughts, because the thoughts of what the eye is illuminating, the thought of what the nose is illuminating, thought of what the tongue is tasting, thought of what the skin is feeling, thought of what the ear is hearing, all these appear in our mind as thoughts only. But the mind is not affected. It is just a container It is just a platform on which the thoughts are coming, staying, and going away. Now we come to the Atman. Atman is also not affected by whatever is going on in whether there is a waking mind or a dream mind or a no mind. Atma is not affected, and that is you. Yamraj is telling. Yamraj is telling. See, from one example here, it is only given the sun. From sun, I brought you to the eyes. The presiding deity of the eyes is the sun. So don't think. So if it is very. Yesterday, I went to someone's place. She had an accident and she was complaining. This happened, that happened, and she's telling, ladies, this tell in great detail the entire story of how the accident took place and how the doctors were so foolish and everything. I kept listening for 15 minutes. I said, stop. She said, why? I said, how many people have you told this story? She says, many people. I said, are you not tired of telling this story again and again? Why are you reinforcing it? Why are you reinforcing it? Because it's default. Self-pity. Same is our case. We get affected by what we see, hear, touch, feel, taste. Sometimes the inner thoughts come and we imagine our emotions. And then we say, I have got a thought fixation, I am very sad, I am depressed, I am very excited. Enough, man, enough. You are the Atma. Nothing in your faculties is attached to anything. Even greater than that, even subtler than that is the Atma. It is not attached to anything. Recognize this about yourself. What I just told you in few lines ago, few seconds ago, repeat that. That's your meditation. Walking meditation. While you are working, this awareness should be there. Nothing is affected. A doctor is not affected by the patient. Next. I was listening to a journalist. She was just passed out of the journalism school, and then she was posted. Usually when they are passing out, they are posted to cover crime and education, these two places. So she went to a crime, and she was affected by what was going on, and then she was because it's so stark, it is so painful what the family has gone through for whatever that crime was. And naturally a human being's heart goes out. I must help them, this, that. 7, 8 months, 9 months she kept gestating over it, got involved, couldn't sleep. 9 months she couldn't sleep at night because of the gruesome scenes there. And then one day suddenly, they must have studied in the course that you can't be emotionally involved in every case that you are covering. Your job is to be a journalist, to record to the best of your ability what is going on. But it's a mental capacity to how to disconnect from what is going on and look at it objectively without getting affected. And what do we do? React to everything. Touch me not for everything. Emotional for everything. This requires poise. This requires being centered. This doesn't happen just because you feel like being there. No. It requires constant alertness. Constant alertness. So we had to do the bhashyam. So here it was told, so last week I explained that all the Pancha Mahabhutas are pervaded just as they are pervaded by the space. The whole world of five elements is functioning because of the sun. Same way, this Atma is pervading the five elements, and which includes the sun, and therefore this Atma does not become sukhi or dukhi, does not become joyous or miserable, does not become victorious or defeated. It ever remains the same. It is just as sun is outside our world, unaffected by the world, unaffected by the waking dream and deep sleep of anyone, unaffected by the seasons that are going on, unaffected by the calamities that are going on. Sun is ever the light giver. It does not reduce its light, it does not increase its light. To the meritorious person or the bad elements of the society, it continues to shower its light. Same way, this Atman also, it is unconcerned by the sense stimuli. It's unconcerned by the emotional seasons that our mind goes through. It's unconcerned by the intellectual convictions that we have. It is not bothered. Recognize this. Continuing, the Bhashyam. Suryo yatha chakshusha alokena upakaram kurvan mutra purishadi ashuchi prakashena शुचि प्रकाशनेन तद्दर्शिनः सर्वलोकस्य चक्षुः अपि सन् न लिप्यते चाक्षुषैः अशुच्यादि दर्शन निमित्तः निमित्तैराध्यात्मिकैः पापदोषैः बाह्यैः च आशुच्यादि संसर्गदोषैः. Just as now what I have explained, we are doing the job of going through the Sanskrit Bhashya, the explanation of Adi Shankaracharya of this verse in Sanskrit. If we have missed any points when I have given you a summary of the whole thing, let's see. Just as the sun by its own light is benevolent towards the whole world as we know it, meaning he is not affected if someone spits on it, if it is not affected if someone is doing bad deeds or good deeds, and all those unholy, it keeps constantly illuminating the holy as well as the unholy objects in this world of ours. Therefore, people call him the eye of the world, because without the sun we would not be able to see the various objects of the world. But even though it is the seer of the whole world, he is the illuminator of the whole world, but it is not affected by the world. That is what is told. Na lipyate chakshushaihi. Na lipyate. It is not attached. It is not affected. It is not influenced by what it is illuminating. And remember, now apply it subjectively. Wherever your attention, if it is your attention is on your senses, senses are unattached, uninfluenced by whatever they are illuminating. Imagine your ear listening to one word, wow, and remaining with that word for the rest of the 1.5 hours. Is it possible? Yet, People live in thought fixations. People live with phobias. Get out of it. Nothing like that. It's only self created because of wrong thinking. And therefore, the so according to the dharma, the meritorious and unmeritorious deeds, the sun is unaffected, and 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 whatever the various faults are there in this world, the sun remains untouched by them. Similarly, एकः संस्तथा सर्वभूतांतरात्मा न लिप्यते लोक दुखे न बाह्यः. So similarly, the one antaratma, atma means the self, antar is the inner self, the one inner self, that is also immanent in and through all the great five elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, out of which this whole world as we know it is existing. And whatever the misery in these lokas in this world is there, it is not affected by that misery. When I say misery, automatically joy also, health also, all opposites. It's not affected by the duality of the world as we experience it. And it remains, just as sun remains outside the world yet illuminating the world, the Atma remains outside the world yet illuminating the world. And what is the world for the Atma? The world of, what is its world? Where it begins with? It begins with mana, buddhi, chitta, hankar, mind, intellect, memory, ego, senses, body, and the outside world. It remains unaffected by everything. Catch it. Be subjective about it. Right now, not to be processed later. लोको हि अविद्यया स्वात्मनि अध्यस्तया कामकर्मोद्भवं दुःखम अनुभवति. People within the self, because of their ignorance, because of their foolishness, because of their stupidity, because of their forgetfulness, they superimpose ignorance, superimposed by ignorance, or they are not able to recognize the self, and therefore instead of the self, due to the influence of the ignorance, due to the influence of the maya, they continue to desire and perform karma, and as a result they experience likes, dislikes, joys and sorrows. Because every karma, desire will propel you to do karma. Because there is a desirer, therefore the person who performs some action to fulfill that desire, he is a doer. Whenever you do something, karma is done, then there is a karma phala, there is a result. If that result is conducive, I like what I did, because you like the result. If the result is not conducive, I don't like, I will never do this again. Likes and dislikes, and likes and dislikes lead to joys and sorrows. This is the projected cycle in which we have got caught up. But who are we essentially? The untouched one. How? Like the sun. Sun is untouched by what it is illuminating. Natu sa paramarthatah swa atmani. But that avidya, that ignorance, from Atma point of view, there is nothing called avidya. From Atma point of view, the self point of view, there is nothing called ignorance. From sun's point of view, there is nothing called darkness. But in our world, there is the day world and the night world. But from sun's point of view, there is neither day nor night. Exactly the same way. From the self point of view, what is the nature of the self? One without a second, all pervading. There is no place that it is not. How can ignorance even exist? Think. So, in our essential nature, in our pristine, immaculate self, there is nothing called ignorance. And remember, so why was it told that this world is the cause of the world is avidya, ignorance? That ignorance expresses as desire. That desire leads to activity or action, and that action then gives joys and sorrows, and we get caught up in the cycle of birth, rebirth. Why was that told? If you have to tell this, why didn't you tell this before only? Why? See, this was told so that you take full responsibility for whatever is going on in your life, so that you don't blame anyone. Whatever we are at this moment, if you consider yourself as the individual, if you consider yourself as someone in this big world, and the world is too big, I am small. The scripture's game is, the master's teachings are to invoke the potential within us so that we recognize we are the master of the world, not a slave of this world. And in fact, we have got nothing to do with the world. In fact, the world is nothing but the self. To come to this disposition, somewhere we have to begin. In your nursery class, oh, why should I study 2 plus 1 is 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. Why should I do that? Why can't I study straight away what you do in PhD? Will you understand? You don't ask those questions there. But when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to self-knowledge, we have begun somewhere. We have to begin somewhere. And where do we begin from? From where we are. Where are we? A product. We think we are the product of this world. We think we were born in this world. We think we are at the mercy of this world. We think this world is bigger than who we are. This false assumption has to be broken. Therefore, it is told, okay, this world is there. Where is it came from? Oh, it came from, the reason for this is desire. Where did desire come from? It came from ignorance. Some data has to be given. So, this is the best data they could give. This is for the intellectual person. For a devotee, God created. Think about God. But those who don't want to go into the emotional path, they want to think, they want to inquire, they want to intellectualize. So, what is the cause of the joys and sorrow? Likes and dislikes. What is the cause of likes and dislikes? The fruit of the action. What is the cause of the fruit of the action? Action. What is the cause of action? Desire. Where did desire come from? Ignorance. What is ignorance? Not knowing the self is ignorance. See, if I come to know, then what will happen? All this will vanish. Then there is no ignorance. If mother is not there, then there is no children also and grandchildren. If ignorance, the mother is not there, then the child desire will not be there, then the grandchild karma will not there, when the great grandchild, the fruit of the karma will not be there. But to come to, so first, for that to happen, oh, then I want to know the self. And then we tell you, okay, you are the self. No, how can it be that easy? I'm the self. You are trying to trick me, you are trying to avoid me, you are trying to push me away from, you don't want to know, you don't want to tell the answer. These type of thoughts go in our mind. No. The teacher can see how much you are abiding in the self, how much are you talking about the world, how much you are interested in the world, how much you are attached to the world, how much, and so on and so forth. He can see, she can see. A mother can see in her child, for that matter. See. So first, become fully responsible for everything in your life. Then transcending is possible. Then you can come to your senses. Then you will understand that the eyes are not affected by anything in the world. Yeah, it's such a simple thing. Why did it not click to me by myself? Why I had to come to a class, satsang, to come to know this? Yeah, it is true. My eyes are always the same. The vision is always the same. It is not attached to anything that it is illuminating. How come I did not come to know? This is because you were ignorant. There is no reason for ignorance. Ignorance just is. It is also beginningless. Self is beginningless, ignorance is beginningless. But self is endless also. Ignorance ends. When does it end? When you know that you are the self. See? So here he says, Natu sa paramarthatah swatmani. So in the swa atmani, swa is the self, atmani is the atma, in the atmic self, the ignorance is not there. How can? If in the self is having ignorance, then there are two things. There is self and there is ignorance. How can there be two things in the Atma? Atma is one without a second. How can there be light and day in the sun? It is not possible. Sun is of the nature of illumination, full stop. From sun's point of view, there is nothing called darkness. From Atmic point of view, from the self point of view, there is nothing called ignorance. Are we ready to handle that responsibility? I am the self. Oh, so that means I don't have ignorance? No. What is ignorance? I forgot. It means desire and karma. So that means I cannot desire anything. No. Then I cannot do any work. I cannot put efforts in life. No. Then how will I live? Then how will you live? I'm asking questions that might be going in your mind and my mind. And how will I live if I can't desire? Then how will I eat? I can't enjoy an ice cream? No. This is where the problem is. You feel that if I get on a hot day, if I get an ice cream, then I will get the joy. If at night I go to sleep, then I'll get the joy. If someone is eating your head, when that person goes away, then I will feel at peace. When I get a job, then I'll get the peace, then I'll be happy. When I get my promotion, where is your attention? On the outside. And you're expecting something to happen, you're desiring something to happen. You have outsourced your happiness. And what is the scripture saying? You are of the nature of Atma, Satchidanand Swarup, of the nature of bliss. And what are we doing? Seeking it outside. This seeking outside is ignorance, is the effect of ignorance. Make the necessary shift within yourself. Nobody is forcing. Nobody forced you to come here and listen. And nobody is forcing. I'm telling you, this is the way. Otherwise, nothing like that. Otherwise, you will go to hell. No, there's no hell. There's no heaven also. Just as from sun's point of view, there is no day and night, from self point of view, there is no heaven, there is no hell. Just as there is no duality. In other words, there is no duality. Are we ready to be that? But when we are thinking as an individual, oh my God, I have to shoulder the responsibility of the whole world that I am illuminating. I want to keep enjoying my ice cream. We'll leave it for next life. I'm speaking for you all. It is not for the faint-hearted. These verses are not for the faint-hearted. It will destroy your mind. It will destroy the individuality that you are so emphatically holding on to. That I am so and so. I am the mother, father, daughter, sister. I am the grandmother. I am the this profession or that profession. I was born on this day. I am the Australian citizen. It will destroy everything that you know about yourself. Are you ready for that bargain? Therefore, we said, it is not for the faint-hearted. Nachiket is not a faint-hearted fellow. He is very clear what he wants in life. Upanishads are meant for those who are clear that there is no answers in this world by running after the world. They have sorted that out. Now they are looking. To such people, the Upanishads come to them. Somehow it will come to you. This knowledge will come to you. Question is now, are you going to interact with this knowledge subjectively? Or the other way, which is objectively? If you do it objectively, you will become a lecturer. Like I am. If you keep it objectively, trying to understand objectively, there's nothing to understand here. There's only question of being. Understanding is at the level of intellect. That point will come in next verse or the verse after. You are beyond the instrument of knowledge. Intellect can work only in concepts. Self is not a concept. Intellect can have convictions. Self is not a conviction. Mind can feel emotions. Self is not an emotion. Senses can see, hear, touch, feel, taste. Self cannot be seen, heard, touched, or smelt or tasted. Now, what do you do? All means of knowledge have been taken away from you. And that was holding up the ego. We have taken away everything. Continuing. Now the classic example in our Vedas and is taken and especially introduced by our talked a lot about by our Adi Shankaracharya, that is taken यथा रज्जु शुक्ति को शरगगनेषु सर्प रजत उदक मलानि न रज्ज्वादीनां स्वतः दोष रूपाणि santi. So he says, what does he say? Just as a rope or a stick or a crack in the earth, or a mirage, or I shouldn't say stick, or just as snake on the rope, just as the mirage in the desert or any hot surface, or the space. In this, what do we see in the rope? We see the snake. In the seep, seep को क्या बोलते हैं? Shell. In the shell, we see the shining coin, or from far away, if you see the shell on a beach, you think it is a shining silver lying there, and you run there. It's a silver colored shell. And then the third one is Udakamala. The third is the Marusthal is the desert. There you see the mirage. And the last one is Akash. And in the space, it cannot ever get dirty. So these are the 4 examples that are taken. So in all of these we see we'll just take 1 or 2, each one we'll see. In the snake and the rope, the snake is unaffected, the rope is unaffected by the snake. If someone imagines a rope to be a snake, and because he stepped, which snake? Oh, coconut coir snake. Coconut coir rope. If you step on it, the coconut coir will come and prick you in your leg if it jumps up, because it's lying in a particular way in bushes, and by mistake you stepped on it and it curled up and just hit you, because it is the coconut coir is quite sharp in points. So it comes and you think it is, you have been bitten by a snake, and you get all the symptoms. Then someone comes and says, hey, it's only a rope. Why? Only a rope? Where? See, I am lifting it. Really? But your skin had become blue-black, you are about to faint. How come that happened? If there was no snake, there was only a rope, how come you had the symptoms of a snake bite? Because in your mind, you had become convinced that you have been bitten by a snake. And then you laugh at your own foolishness. So the venom of the snake, is it available in the rope? No. No characteristics of the snake which was imagined on the rope are available in the rope. Rope has always remained rope. It has never become a snake. You have imagined, you have forgotten the rope, and instead of the rope, imagined the snake. Same way, the seashell was always a seashell, it was never a silver. Because of your delusion and delusion, because you are far away from that seashell on the beach, you projected maybe it is a silver coin. Look left, right, koi nahi hai, chalo, let's quickly go pick it up and pocket it. And when you get there, it's only a shell. So was that silver coin ever present? No, it was always a seashell. Is the hardness of the coin in the seashell? No. Similarly, on a hot surface, you see the mirage waters in the desert or on a hot road. Does the road have water? No. Does the sun, the heat in the air have water? Maybe water vapor, but not water. But you are seeing the water, you are seeing the waves. So what are you doing? You are projecting something which is not present in the foundation, in the substratum. On the road or in the desert, there is no water, but you are seeing water. This is how people used to lose their way, thinking there is an oasis somewhere and they used to see the trees and everything. They used to see dancing girls also on the banks of the oasis. Who do you see? The nomad who used to go by across the Sahara. So just as in the rope there is no snake, in the seashell there is no silver, in the desert there is no there is no waters. Similarly, in the sky there is no dirt. Not possible. Then where is the snake? Then where is the silver? Then where is the mirage waters? And where is the dirt? Where is it? It's only a projection. It's only an imagination of your mind. It is only a superimposition. Where is whoever is here, father, mother, brother, daughter, sister? You are a woman or a man. Where is the mother? Only projection on yourself. Where is the husband? Only a projection. Where is the brother? Only a projection. You are a man. Question over. Someone calls you brother, someone calls you son, someone calls you dad, someone calls you uncle. But who are you? Man. Then where are these, all the roles? Where are these roles? Only projections. People started calling you and you started believing. I am a husband. I am a brother. And for every role you behave differently. Be a man or be a woman. First come to that. Then you will come to your senses. Then you will come to your mind. Then you will come to your intellect. Then you will come to your life, to the life principle. Then you will come to the witnessing consciousness. But we are stuck somewhere out there. There is a projection. In that projection, another projection. So first projection, mind. In that mind, another projection, senses. In those senses, another projection, the world. In that world, another projection, this body. In that body, another projection, man or woman. in that man or woman, another projection, I'm a father, brother, daughter, sister. How deep we are caught up. How deep you are caught up. So many layers you have to clear. These are the 7 chakras. कुंडली ढूंढते रहो, कहीं नहीं. Come back to the source. Be the self. So all the faults, all the fear, all the faults, all the mirage water cannot quench. The waves of the mirage waters, they are not available in the sand. The venom of the snake is not available in the rope. The hardness of the silver, it is not available in the seep or the shell. Naturally, they are not available. It is free of all these faults. These faults are only in that which is projected on the original. Apply to yourself. All the problems of a brother are in the role of the brother, not on the man. All the challenges, problems, joys, sorrows of a wife are for the role called wife, which is a projection on the woman. Why do you take it so seriously? Play the game. All the characteristics of the snake are not available in the rope. All the characteristics of a wife are not available in the woman. Story over. Come back to the original. Now don't add in your mind, but we have a life to live, we have responsibilities. Then dig your own hole and bury yourself into it. That's the only answer. Because you want to remain buried. You want to remain buried alive. I should add that. You don't want to be free. As I said, this is Upanishads are only for those who have the mental clarity and commitment to be the truth. संसर्गिणी विपरीत बुद्धिध्यास अध्यास निमित्तात् तद दोषवद विभाव्यन्ते. So all these faults are not in the original, the rope and the shell and the desert or the space. And so all those, they are only found in those people who have come across the rope and has projected the snake. The rope has not projected the snake. The desert has not projected the mirage waters. The seashell has not projected the silver coin. The one who came in contact with these three, they have projected. Instead of seeing the rope, they saw the snake. Instead of seeing the seashell, they saw the silver. Instead of seeing the desert, they saw the mirage waters. Instead of seeing the space, they imagined, they projected or saw the whole world in the space. Whose fault is it? Is it the rope's fault that you saw the snake? Is it the desert's fault that you saw the mirage waters? Why? Because you are thirsty. So this is called viparita buddhi, contrary thinking. Instead of seeing what is, we see exactly the opposite. Instead of seeing that our eyes are unaffected by everything they illumine, oh, I love that dress. Gone. $1,000 later, you come back home. And then you come to find out, it doesn't fit me. Then you go back to the shop. Please, it does not fit me. No, we can't give you the money back. Then curse, scream, shout. Who asked you to go and buy? Who asked you to appreciate it? Remain neutral. So the fault is in the person. It has to be a person. It cannot be a laptop cannot see a snake on the rope. It is inert object. It has to be a living person. He only can see snake on the rope. Only human being can imagine. न तद्दोषैः तेषां लेपः विपरीत बुद्ध्यध्यास बाह्या हि ते, but they are not affected by this opposite thinking, this faulty thinking, this contrary thinking. Who are these people? Wise people are not affected by that. Who are wise people? They see what is true. What is the constant sun? What is the constant senses? What is the constant mind? What is the constant behind the Atma? Their attention is on the unchanging. Remember, Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti and Mumukshutvam. These are the four basic requirements for a seeker. Vivek is discrimination. Discrimination is not day. Is it day or is it night? That is not discrimination. Because both day and night are changing principles. They are relative. Discrimination is what is that which is unchanging in spite of day and night? Sun. What is that which is unchanging in spite of all the stimuli coming? The senses. The vision is unchanging. What is that which is unchanging in spite of all the changes at the level of mind? Oh, the thoughts are changing, mind is not changing. Oh, good. Similarly, Atma is not, the witnessing consciousness is not changing, and the waker, dreamer, sleeper, they keep changing. This is discrimination. Wise people think in this manner. Wise people do not think the opposite way. Acha, there is day and night. Day is more important, night is bad, night is evil, day is sattvic. Oh, I should get up in the morning, I should not do sadhana at night. Oh, I think, Swamiji, can I take the name of the Lord on the toilet seat? He lost only in this. Attention is not on the permanent principle. Attention is not on the unchanging principle. Discriminate. So here, wise people, their attention, firstly, their attention is on the unchanging principle. And because they have come to know themselves as the unchanging one, the Atma, they are unaffected by what is going on around them. They maintain that poise. An undisturbed awareness. That undisturbed awareness is not aware of the world, it's aware of itself. Imagine sun emitting so much light. in that intense light that is coming, can it see anything else? Just a thought for you to contemplate. Try. When we say this constant awareness, aware of itself as the self, when your vision makes an attempt to look at its own source, all the colors and forms outside will start collapsing. Do this exercise and find out for yourself. Don't believe what we are saying. Same thing. When the awareness becomes aware of itself, that is only possible when it is not hooked on to the outside, hooked on to whatever it is illuminating, not interested, not attached, not pushing them away, not inviting them, just being. Initial step, yes, you are aware of the world, undisturbed by the world, but if you don't go tada drashtuhu swarupa avasthanam, if that constant awareness of the world, that undisturbed poise which you have come to, which is undisturbed by the comings and goings of the thoughts or the world, if that awareness does not go back to its own source, something in the world will catch it, hijack it. Therefore, our Yoga Sutra say, tada drashtuhu swarupa avasthanam. Recognize that this constant awareness I am, it is my original state. Not because it is illuminating everything, therefore I am. Not that way. I am, that's it, without a thought. तथात्मनि सर्वः लोकः क्रियाकारकफलात्मकं विज्ञानं सर्पादिस्थानीयं विपरीतमध्यस्य तन्निमित्तं जन्ममरणादि दुःखम् अनुभवति. So similarly, tathatmani sarvaha lokaha kriyakaraka. This whole world of cause and effect is superimposed. Just as the snake was superimposed on the rope, rope was not seen as a rope, but rope was seen as a snake. Having projected the snake, you suffered from the snake bite. Having been bitten by an imaginary snake, you started having symptoms of a true snake bite. Froth started coming, legs started becoming blue and black. You started screaming, fear of death. But in the first place, the snake was not there. Till some guru who was passing by, who said, hey, what happened? Oh, I have bit by a snake. It's a rope. He is a guru for that fellow. And suddenly all symptoms go away. Arre, aise kaise? You only didn't see the rope, you projected the snake, and then you are suffering from the snake. Self-inflicted. Same way, we have not seen ourselves. We have projected that I am the individual, that I was, with that comes, I was born, I am growing, one day I will die, this world was before, this world will be after, and then suffering. Why this whole game is going on? Because you are not seeing what is the original. अपनी नज़र टेस्ट करा लो भैया. We check our vision, no? Just now, New Year, I got new glasses. Why? Couldn't see before. Still, I can't see very clearly. Upanishads are the glasses. Satsang is the glasses where we come to see ourselves clearly without any external support. Here you need glasses in order to read clearly. For the self, you don't need these words. These words are only medium. They are indicating something. And that something, that someone, that eternal one is you. So we have, because we have not seen the Atma, in that Atma we are projecting the desires, we are projecting the karma, action, we are projecting the karma phala, the result, we are projecting the sukha dukkha, the joys and sorrows. And then every teacher comes, Swamiji, is there life after death? Swamiji, is there a soulmate? एक थप्पड़ पड़ेगा वहाँ के. Because that question shows us where that person's mind is. In the children, in the grandchildren, in the partner, in the husband, in the wife, in the past or in the future, in the next birth, in the regrets, in the expectations. Such a person is not qualified to know the truth. Absolutely not. Then what is required to be done? If this is troubling you, do japa. Make your mind focused. Make your mind focused on something higher. And thus, this individual who's essentially just like the essential was the rope, snake was the projected. Similarly, essential is the Atma. This individual has projected individuality upon that Atma which is of infinite nature. And then going through birth, death, and the miseries of the individuality. Self-inflicted. The word is, क्या बोलते हैं? Masochist. Sadist is he who inflicts pain on others. Masochist is he who inflicts pain on himself. Suicidal. We are suicidal. Swamiji, talk about yourself. We are not. Good if you are not. That's why I am the teacher. Only talking. But get the point how we are self-inflicting the wounds, physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. Spiritual wounds are also there. Huh? Spiritual wound is I know everything. I am a great devotee of God. There is nothing, nobody greater than me. I have studied all the Upanishads. That is a spiritual wound. Another good one. Oh, I understood everything that the Upanishad was telling. Another spiritual one. Nothing to understand there. There's only to be. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Intellect cannot understand it. Mind cannot comprehend it. Words cannot illuminate it. What did you understand? Oh, yeah, wound. Bleed. न न त्वात्मा सर्वलोकात्मा लोकात्म अपि सन् विपरीत अध्यारोप निमित्तेन लिप्यते लोक दुखेन कुतः. अच्छा, पहले उसके उतना कर लेते हैं. The Atma, the self, is the inner self of the entire creation. Just like space is immanent in and through everything in this creation. Same way, this Atma, that, remember constant awareness I was talking about? That constant awareness, when it becomes aware of itself as the self, at that very moment. And what is the self? It is the self of all. The self is one without a second. If self is one without a second, then that wise man, when he looks around, what does he look? What does he see? He sees only himself. Himself as what? As Swamiji with a dadi? No. Again, your attention is on the form. He gets the third eye opens up. It's the intuitive sense which is beyond the mind and intellect. It only comes by the integration of mind and intellect. When they have merged into the self, the projection is gone. The wise man has come to realize that he is the Atma without a thought. Once realized, the body, for other people, the body is functioning. Then in that body, someone is there. Who is there? For people, he is that Swami. But for that Swami, he is one without a second. His eyes are seeing the differences, but intuitively he knows he is immanent in and through everything in this creation. These divisions are only, I am using these words, this is the best way we can explain. These divisions are only projected, they are only imaginary. Life in everyone, because in inert object there is existence. In living beings, animals, plants, mosquito, human beings, gods, there is consciousness and inertness. Inertness is called form, and the consciousness is the life within. So inertness is also existing, living beings are also existing and conscious. And this fellow, this wise man, has recognized that he is continuously existing, and he knows that he is continuously existing without a thought, and therefore the expansion of his consciousness, which is bliss, the realization without a thought that I am all that there is. And therefore, such a wise man does not get influenced by any misery. This is the only antidote to misery. Antidote to misery is not sleep. You will wake up again to be miserable again next morning. Only by abidance in the self and seeing the self as one without a second, pervading the entire, that is the antidote, that is the medicine for the disease called misery. For that, individuality is necessarily dropped. You cannot hold on to individuality. If the wave merges into the thinking that it wants to know the source of itself, when it looks into itself, what does it find? It finds once it looks in, its attention is not on its waveness. It's looking in. And as it realizes that it is the water by nature is infinite. It doesn't have to go one by one. Oh, I am that wave also, I am in that wave also. No, spontaneously, instantaneously, it realizes that it is the water in every wave. It is the life in everything. It is the existence behind everything. And that everything is also it. if I can say that, because we are talking about something which is our objectively speaking, it is everything. Because all the names, forms, variety, duality, everything is projected on that. Just like the mirage was projected on the desert, the snake was projected on the on the rope. Without rope, there can be no snake. So you have negotiated through all the projection, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, ashtanga yoga, kundalini yoga. Eventually I have come to Upanishadic satsang. You are going deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself. And now you are told that there is nothing called ignorance. You alone are. The wise man has come to know that. And therefore, he is not attached, he is not influenced, he is not hooked to the misery or the joy. Kutaha, how come he is unclutched from all the misery? How come he is not influenced by any misery? Because we realize wise men also paining, feeling the pain, feeling the hunger, feeling the whatever the body has to go through. We see that. How come you say that they are uninfluenced by pain and anything? The answer is Bahya. Bahya means just as the sun is separate from everything that it is illuminating, just as the rope is separate to all the projection over it, similarly, the wise man has recognized he is the Atma, the self, which is separate to all the projections, superimpositions. And what is the superimposition? Desire, action, waker, dreamer, sleeper, past, future, many worlds, no world. All this is projection. He has come to know that. Bahya. Just as sun is uninfluenced by anything that is projecting, illuminating, the wise man as the self is the Ishvara. Ishvara is the total principle. He is the Ishvara. He is in and through. He is the immanent cause, is the upadan and nimitta karan, is the creator and material, and yet transcendental. This is where the wise man is sitting in himself. Rajwadi vadev viparita buddhya dhyasa bahyah hi sa iti. In other words, he is outside. He is outside the ideas of snake and the rope, all the projections. He is outside. So, what is individuality? It's only a projection of your mind. Merge the mind into its source. There you are. But where is our mind? Our mind is, it's so nice when I have that idli and sambar. जीवन का मजा आ गया. This is the best joy in life. Idli sambar. Nice pizza with the cheese coming and Best joy is listening to a satsang. It will remain outside if you don't take it in. Then we are addicted to listening to it again and again. Better than pizza and everything, no doubt. But I'm telling the principle that the joy from pizza, the joy from idli sambar, the joy from satsang is similar, because joy is your nature. Make a commitment to be that bliss. Bliss, when it comes and goes, it is called joy. Joy which never comes and goes, it is called bliss. And that you are. See? Hallelujah. Already 1.5 hours is over. Lost in the self, lost in the contemplation. Initiate these type of contemplations on your own. Just read this verse for the next 1 week, every day. Come to be. But we come only Wednesday to Wednesday. And during the week, I live a balanced life. I have got responsibilities. There are other people dependent on me. I have to work, I have to earn, I have to eat, I do yoga, I do this, I do that. Lage raho munna bhai. Can't be helped. Not qualified to know the truth. Full stop. Only once give yourself a present to drop everything and be. Next verse tells that the one who is seeing the self, the one who has the vision of the self, the one who is being the self, he alone is blissful. That is the next verse. We'll read it and conclude. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma. Ekam rupam bahudhaya karoti. Ekam rupam bahudhaya karoti. Tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhiraha. Tamatmastham yenu pashyanti dhiraha. तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषां तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं नेतरेषां टुगेदर एको वशी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा एकं रूपं बहुधा यः करोति तमात्मस्थं येनुपश्यन्ति धीराः तेषां सुखं शाश्वतं तेन नेतरेषाम्. We'll look at the meaning of this verse in our next satsang, next Wednesday. Hari Om. ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. हरि ओम.